So I have some coffee, and then I'm gonna finish the what was it called? The Fisherman and his wife. Yeah. So I have a tab. Just get that off the page. And then, oh wife, so you are queen now. Yes, she said, I am queen. He stood looking at her for a long time, till at last he spoke again. Well, wife, now that you are queen, we have nothing left to wish for. We must give up wishing. No, indeed, she replied, I am not yet satisfied. Time and tide wait for no man, nor will they wait for me. I am as impatient as ever. Go to your enchanted prince again, and tell him I want to be an empress. Empress, cried the husband. It is beyond his power, I am certain. The empress has the highest place in the kingdom. What? She replied. Do you not know that I am queen, and that you must obey me, although you are my husband? Go at once. If the prince in disguise can make a queen, he can also make an empress. So the husband went away muttering to himself, to keep on wishing in this way is not good. I am certain the fish will put an end to it this time. When he reached the shore, the sea was quite black, and the waves rushed so furiously over the rocks that he was terrified, but he contrived to repeat his wild verse again, saying, Flounder, flounder in the sea, come, I pray, and talk to me, for my wife, Dame Isabel, wishes what I fear to tell. Up came the fish. Well, he said, what does she want now? Ah, said the husband timidly, she wants to be empress. Go home, man, he replied, she has her wish. And on his return he found his wife acting as an empress in a palace of marble, with alabaster statues, and gold and pearls, and soldiers, and lords and barons bowing to her. But she was not satisfied even now, and at last she told her husband that she wished to be the Pope, and that he must go to the fish and tell him so. No, he said, that is impossible. The Pope is the head of the church. You cannot have that wish. But I will be Pope, she exclaimed. Oh, so there's an illustration. I'll keep the camera there while I have my coffee. So he was obliged to go, and when he reached the shore, the sea was running mountains high, and roaring and beating against the shores, and it was such terrible weather that the sky looked quite black. However, he ventured to call up the fish with the old song, and told him of his wife's wish. Go home, he said, your wife is Pope. He turned to go back, but what a change he found. The palace had vanished, and in its place stood a large cathedral, surrounded by marble pillars. On a high throne sat his wife, with thousands of lights around her, dressed in robes embroidered with gold, wearing a large golden crown on her head. Candles of all kinds stood near her, some as thick as a tower, others as small as a rushlight, while emperors, kings, and nobles kneeled at her footstool and kissed her slippers. Well, wife, said her husband, so you are Pope. Yes, she said, I am. He stood still for a time, watching her, and at length he remarked, You cannot be higher than a Pope, so I suppose now you are content. I am not quite sure, she said, but when evening came, and they retired to rest, she could not sleep for thinking of what she should next wish for. Her husband slept soundly, for he had tired himself the day before, but she rose even before the day broke, and stood at the window to watch the sunrise. It was a beautiful sight, and she exclaimed as she watched it, Oh, if only I had the power to make the sun rise. Husband, wake up, she added, pushing him in the ribs with her elbows. Wake up and go and tell the enchanted prince that I wish to be equal to the Creator and make the sun rise. The husband was so frightened at this that he tumbled out of bed and exclaimed, Ah, wife, what didst thou say? She repeated the words. Her husband fell on his knees before her. Don't ask me to do this. I cannot, he cried. But she flew into a rage and drove him from the house. The poor fisherman went down to the shore in terror, for a dreadful storm had arisen, and he could scarcely stand on his feet. Ships were wrecked, boats tossed to and fro, and rocks rolled into the sea. In his terror and confusion, he heard a voice amid the storm. Gonna get some more coffee. Your wife wishes to be equal to the Creator. Go home, man, and find her again in her dirty hovel by the sea. He went home to find the glories, the riches, and the palaces vanished, and his wife sitting in the old hut, an example of the consequences of impious ambition. So that's it. That's the end of the story.